So let's talk a little bit about this Lil Skies album that just came out, because the numbers just came back and it's doing 10 to 15k first week, and I feel the need to talk about it a little bit and my thoughts on it. Now, Lil Skies is an artist that I personally like. I like his music, I'll be honest. Shelby was a good album, Life of a Dark Rose was a good album, and both of them did well numbers wise for the time being. But for this album to do less than Life of a Dark Rose is kind of disappointing, I will say. It is very disappointing numbers wise, considering the fact that Lil Skies was just a huge artist with his songs a couple years back, and now it looks like he's selling less than Rich the Kid first week, and Blueface, and 6ix9ine, and that's disappointing. I'll be honest, it is. He should not be selling that little first week, but I do kind of excuse it a bit for his situation. Not a lot, but I don't think I'm gonna sit here and start shitting on it and saying, he did first triple cardboard first week, because at the end of the day, that's not what I came here for. I'm here to talk about the music in that purely. Now, I really like the album, I'll be honest. It was a really good album, but I feel like it's one of those cases where he waited way too long to drop it. Now, for an artist like Lil Skies to be waiting 2 years to drop his album, I don't think is a smart idea. If you drop this album maybe a couple weeks after Shelby dropped, or a couple months, a couple months after Shelby dropped, you'd probably be doing 80 to 90k first week, or even more. Maybe you'd go over 100k first week. But waiting 2 years to drop an album is very risky, because at the end of the day, waiting 2 years to drop your album can either make or break your career, because waiting 2 years could either A, add more hype to that album, or B, get rid of old hype at the end of the day. And because Lil Skies was not the hugest artist during the Shelby time, he was just still getting up there in the music industry. I feel like people just stopped caring about him after a while, after they stopped hearing about him. Because Lil Skies, not only did he not drop any music in this time, but he also went very quiet on Instagram and all his social medias. And considering the fact that a lot of artists have a lot of personality and make a lot of their stuff on social media, I feel like him going away from it was kind of made people forget about him, and at the end of the day, they moved on to other people and other things. And to be honest, I'm not gonna sit here and give a lot of hate to Lil Skies. And no, it's not because I'm a biased fan of him. It's because I know that Lil Skies is more than just an artist. He has a family. He has a kid, I think, and at the end of the day, that comes before being an artist. 100%. His should be his first priority, and will be his first priority. And I feel like he didn't wait 2 years to drop this album because he had all this family stuff. I feel like it was definitely a big part of it, but I also felt like it was because Lil Skies truly didn't care that much about the numbers. And to be honest, considering the fact that these numbers just came out, I really doubt that he cares about the numbers. Because at the end of the day, if Lil Skies really cared about the numbers, then he definitely would have dropped maybe a couple months after, maybe only just a year after he dropped Shelby. But considering the fact that he waited almost 2 years to drop, I feel like he doesn't care how numbers he does. I feel like he doesn't care how big he is in the rap industry, how many people are talking about him. And to be honest, I think that's fine, because people have this narrative where every rapper has to do a bunch of numbers first week for it to be a W. And I don't believe in that narrative, because at the end of the day, I feel like if you have that die-hard fan base, that core fan base that'll enjoy every song you put out, you should be just fine. And you don't have to worry about, he sold 15k first week, he sold this first week. But I'm not going to sit here and defend him for selling 15k first week, because at the end of the day, he shouldn't have sold 15k first week. He should have sold way more, I'll be honest. Especially considering the fact you had so much promo on Instagram for the past month about the album. It definitely should have sold more than 15k first week. But at the end of the day, I'll give it less shit for selling 15k first week than maybe Rich the Kid for selling 15k first week, because Rich the Kid had a bunch of publicity for the album months in advance. He had a bunch of singles out beforehand, and not only that, but he had tons of features on his album. Compared to Lil Skies, who had no features on his album and only had one single out before he dropped the album. And I'll be honest, OK was not a good song. It didn't sound like Lil Skies, it just sounded like someone else, but that's not the point of this video. I'm not going to talk about that much. So sure, Lil Skies did technically go triple cardboard first week, but while I feel like this wasn't an L sales-wise, I do feel like this was a W artist-wise, because the fans got the songs they wanted, and they're happy, and they like the album, so I don't think there should be a big problem with that. As long as his core fan base can enjoy the album, it really shouldn't matter how much sales he does first week in his case scenario. So yeah, Lil Skies did flop. But at the end of the day, I feel like Lil Skies is still going to be doing fine. Now, I can't really talk about what's going to happen with the next part of his career. I'm not going to sit here and predict that Lil Skies is just going to leave the music industry. He's just going to completely fall off. Because at the end of the day, I don't know. I can't predict the future of Lil Skies' career. Who knows? Maybe he'll get back on the map. Maybe he'll just fall off. Or maybe he'll just stay in that middle spot, and that's what I expect. Him to stay in that middle spot and just be an artist who consistently drops music. May not get great numbers, but he'll still drop music and still have a core fan base that'll listen to his music. So yeah, Lil Skies did flop, but I'm not gonna sit here and give it in a big L. If anything, this album is a lowercase L, and that's how I feel about it. Anyway, that's all I have to say in this video. I had another video planned to make this week, but considering the fact that this news just came out, I decided to drop this video. I might have something else coming out in the next couple days, we'll see. But that's all I have to say about the Lil Skies album.